Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. It's PaulieEsther here. Alright, we're going to talk about this. I wasn't sure what we were going to do. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story. Story time with PaulieEsther here. So, back when I was in high school, when you get home, there weren't a whole lot of channels on TV. 3, maybe 4 channels. A lot of the channels in the afternoon, they'd run repeat programming of old TV shows that were popular back in the day. So, my friend Jimmy had a car. I didn't have a car. My friend Robert also didn't have a car. So after school, we'd go to Jimmy's house. Jimmy would drive us home. And Jimmy wanted to watch TV after school. And Jimmy's favorite show was a little program called The Andy Griffith Show. If you don't know what The Andy Griffith Show is, it's a black and white TV show from the 60s. It won a lot of awards and Emmys. It was one of the highest rated show at the time. It was about a widower sheriff in a small town who took care of his son and lived with his Aunt Bee. And it was a really funny show. I really enjoyed the show. Jimmy really enjoyed the show. Robert never wanted to watch the show. He always like, can we go play basketball or play baseball in the backyard or watch something else? And it's like Jimmy's favorite show. And Robert'd say, can we watch something else? And, you know, usually he'd relent and okay. And then once it was over, we'd go whatever we were going to do. And then it would just continue this way where he didn't want to watch Andy Griffith. And so Jimmy and I would say, well, like, what's your deal with this show? How come you don't want to watch it? By the way, Robert happens to be African American. Jimmy and I are both white, I guess. My grandfather's Filipino. I passed for white. My grandfather married a 6-foot tall Irish woman. My mother married a tall French Canadian man. I'm a 6'4" guy who pretty much passes for white, right? But I have a lot of Pacific Islander blood in me because my grandfather's Filipino. Anyway, I identify as white. Jimmy identifies as white. Robert is African American. So we'd be like, man, what's your deal with this show? How come you never want to watch this? And finally, he just blew up at us and he said, maybe because there's no black people living in Mayberry? Did you ever think about that? And no, we never did think about that. Jimmy and I looked at each other stunned after he said that, and we're like, he's right. There aren't any black people who live in Mayberry on this show. And it took somebody from the outside to point that out to us. That's how, you know, we had the blinders on, that we couldn't see it. Because we didn't have his life experience. We weren't from his walk of life. So we never thought about that. And it took him to point that out to us. And we were like, okay, now we get it. So if you don't know, there was this YouTube video that came out on the Dead by Daylight channel a couple of weeks ago called the Mashup, where they featured clips that were funny or interesting from streamers with Dead by Daylight in it. And a lot of the people will be known to you. They're, you know, high-profile streamers. Streamers that I enjoy and I'm entertained by. And I don't have anything against anybody who's in the video. They were all chosen. They're all deserving. I don't have anything against anybody who's in the video. And when I watched it, I just said, oh, they gave multiple clips to this person and multiple clips to this person, multiple clips to this person. They didn't really have variety. And that was about all that I took away from it. After the viewing, when I watched the video personally, I had people who approached me. I had a female approach me and said, wow, it was like really a sausage fest. It's all guys. Like, they're more... In 2018, we have more females gaming than ever before in the history of the world. And what I'm going to talk to you about is the representation in the video. So, again, it's something that I didn't see until it was pointed out to me, because I have the white male perspective, right? I was also approached by a person of color who said, did you notice that everybody in the video is white? No, I didn't notice it. Again, it was just like the Mayberry thing for me all over again with Robert, where it wasn't until it was pointed out by somebody on the outside to show me it that was the case. So I was like, you're right. Now, it's possible there's some people who don't have face cams in the clips that are in the video. It's very possible that there are some people who are minorities in that video, but they certainly aren't visible to us. We don't see them. So, as far as I can tell, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody who's in that video is white. Now, this is the first video that they've made for this, so I give them a pass. I approached some other people after that who I knew were not white, who were minorities. I said, this was pointed out to me. How do you feel about it? This was pointed out to me. How do you feel about it? And about half the people said, I don't care. I don't care about who's there. I just want to watch funny clips. If they're entertaining, that's all I care about. And other people said, I would like to see representation. So I made a comment on the video saying it would be nice if next time in one of these videos, if the video of the streamers who are showcased in it are a representation of diversity, the way that we have a diversity of races of characters in the game. Because what I see of the diversity of races that we have to choose from as characters in the game, it wasn't represented to the streamers featured in the video. Now, like I said, the person who put the video together could be just like I was in that moment with Robert, where they didn't see it. They just put together funny clips and they didn't think of it. But in my opinion, the person who is in that position as a social media brand manager for the game, and let's be real, that video is an advertisement for the game. That is purely what it is. It advertises the game. It shows people having fun in the game. And I can't watch Matthew Cote sit on the behind the desk and say that he doesn't want to exclude anyone in this game anymore when they talk about they don't want to do exclusives and exclude console people, and have the whole entire video all be PC players, no console players shown in it, and then not a variety of races represented. So that's my point on the whole thing. And if you don't think it's important, if you're like, oh, you're making a big deal about race, I'm not saying, you know, it has to be affirmative action, and we have to have, you know, we have to have one Pacific Islander, one Latino in every video. It would just be nice to see some variety. And why is that important? Well, because the game is an ad. The video is an ad for the game. I think we can all agree that the video is an ad for the game, and they want to sell the game to more than just white people, right? So you should be able to see a representation of different races in this kind of a video, in my opinion. I just think you don't see Kleenex or Coca-Cola or McDonald's only showing white people enjoying their product, so why should Dead by Daylight be any different? And that's my soapbox moment. And I got called out for my comment on the video saying that, and they said, this one person in particular said, name me one minority streamer. And I was like, oh boy, you just hung the curveball over the plate in my wheelhouse. I am going to hit this one to the moon, buddy, because I have this stuff at my fingertips, because I have hosted minority streamers on my stream afterwards. And you can't tell me that minority streamers don't have just as funny or interesting clips as white people do. It just isn't, it doesn't work that way. And then they said, well, there aren't any minority streamers who are popular. Well, first of all, what difference does that make? Does it have to be a popular streamer to have a funny or interesting clip? Shouldn't the clip be judged on its own by whether it's funny or interesting, and not because it came from a famous streamer? Like, if it's a funny clip, it's a funny clip. It doesn't matter who it comes from, right? So you can't tell me that a minority can't have a funny clip if they're, because they're not popular. It doesn't make any sense to me. And then they said, well, this other example you made is Korean. Dude, they went to Shanghai and Seoul, South Korea to promote the game. It's a worldwide game. Why can't you have non-English clips in the video? If the clip is funny, it's funny in any language. You don't have to be able to understand Korean if it's a funny clip. It doesn't make any sense to me. And, well, okay, let's define popularity. Because if you're going to name names, we got Gia Katya, who streams Dead by Daylight on YouTube, and I think she has over 50,000 subscribers. So is that enough? Does that qualify as popular for you? She's a person of color who supports the LGBT community. Like, what do you need? What are your criteria here, buddy, who's calling me out on this? I don't get it. Anyway, this is my soapbox here. I'm just saying we have diversity in the characters in the game. Why can't we have an equal amount of diversity in the mashup video for the game, advertising the game to people of all creeds that they want to sell the game to? Robert didn't see representation in Mayberry. I'm sure other people can relate when they watch the mashup streamer video. That's my point. And I'm going to get off the soapbox now. So I'm going to click this off and we'll start the stream over. Alright, I'm back. And Glenn, I do realize it is the first one, which is why I was forgiving and said, I understand this is your first one. And I myself could not see it. So it could be that the person was in the same position that I was in, where they just didn't even think about it. But like I said, when you're a social media brand messenger, you need to be better. You just need to. You have to have a better skill set. You have to be better equipped to think of things like that more than the average person. There isn't I guarantee that there isn't a marketing professor in the world that you show that video. Well, maybe not in the world. Let's say there isn't a marketing professor in North America that you show that video to who will not point out the same thing. I guarantee it that there isn't a marketing professor who will give that a pass. There's no way. There is no way. And I understand it's the first one. I'm just saying they can be better. I'm just saying they can be better. That's it.
Clips thing before.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
I agree wholeheartedly with you.
Yeah.
Love it.
Everyone in here was
half these
pretty
clips
much
aren't even
agreeing
that
with
good.
we didn't say that, but but that's
He added that part.
Yeah,
he just added that.
I think that's funny though.
Anyway,
but yeah, we agreed with you like 100%.
More if
110%.
just got back-to-back clips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has like a lot.
That's
of-
what
and I'm sure that the people who got multiple clips would gladly give up their spot.
They got a fire.
You know, like.
They got a fire.
Yeah, they're actually.
No, I don't think anybody should be
Those guys
fired.
are
I'm just pointing it out. I'm just pointing it out because, like I said, I didn't see it myself until it was pointed out to me. So now that it's pointed out, then that person gets another chance, right? Like that's the way the world works. Like, I don't know.
I just said it felt like a rush job.
These back-to-back Morph UK clips aren't even good. They're just
All right,
embodying.
don't call anybody out. Don't call anybody out.
Okay.
Because I love Morph. I think he's great and he's very entertaining. I don't have anything against the man. I have even subscribed to him. So I'm not gonna. I don't want to single anybody out. I'm just saying, in general, it could have been done better, and that's my whole point.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
All right. Here we go.
Oh, I'll play next round.
Oh wait, no, he can play this round because I want to play with Amy and Queen.
Okay, so we got little lady Katie.
Okay. I'm
Me.
just...
Lady Katie. Evan. And the person said, "You're trying to say the devs are racist." I said, "I'm not trying to say they're racist. I'm just trying to say they could do a better job." Like, do you think anybody's in charge of a marketing campaign for Coke or McDonald's presents that and then they go, "Yeah, this is great. This is exactly what we wanted."
That'd be the fastest firing job ever. No.
I got an image.
Oh. Greenie the Meanie, this is the first PaulieEsther stream I'm watching on Twitch. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry this is your first one. I'm fired up. Let's go. I'm like Freddy. I'm fired up.
What?
Okay.
I'm bringing in a...
Are you in the PTV, Kobe?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, you joining up?
Yeah.
Here, and then... So my friend sent me this a while ago, Paulie. Like this morning I was sent this picture by my friend.
Friend is on. He's down to play.
Oh, what's McDonald's
Here's
response to
mine.
this?
Okay, I gotta get out this time because every time we play, I never get out.
All right, we'll make that happen.
At least we'll
You're
try.
both salty as hell. That's hilarious.
I'm actually putting on. I have salty lips on too.
I was surprised Paulie wasn't in the vid, Nero says. I'm not. And I don't even, you know, it's not like, put me in. I'm just like, I was entertained. I don't have anything against any of the clips that were used. It was just pointed out to me afterwards. And I was like, you're right, this isn't right. And I just made a stand for it. Just the same way, like, my experience with my friend Robert, that it made me more sensitive to him, you know? And I think that that's, like, happens for a lot of people, that they can't see things from other people's point of view. And if they took a step back and could look at something from other person's point of view, you would understand them a lot more.